Welcome back to Worthing News. Today we have a Q&A that has some hints of what essentially will be the Italian Navy. So hit that subscribe button, hit the join button if you want to support the channel. Let's get into this Q&A. As usual, it's split up to each sections for tanks, planes, boats, helicopters, and other. The first part is for tanks, and I'll try to blaze through these questions as fast as possible so you can get to those hints towards the Italian Navy. First question is asking whether the T-32 and T-32E1 will get a new shell and a fix to their T-33 shell, and Gaijin said maybe on the new shell and that they're planning to fix the T-33 shell. Second take question was asking whether the anti-spall liner was modeled in game. Gaijin says it is, and it blocks the smallest bits of shrapnel flying around if it is on that tank. The third question was asking if they would make it so automatic loaders would have a full-on damage model instead of just a single part of the cannon block. Gaijin essentially said no, however, it's something that they could possibly do in the future. Fourth question was asking, should we expect a change in the view model for ground vehicles, especially with more modern stuff coming out? What I'm assuming they're asking here is if we're gonna see anything like infrared or things like that. Gaijin said flat no, so it doesn't really matter whatever they're asking. The fifth question was asking if we're ever going to see regenerative steering, and Gaijin's reply was yes, we're looking at it. Now, if you don't know what regenerative steering is, that's okay, neither do I. However, there's quite a few people who do. They've been asking for it since before I've been playing War Thunder. Now, I started playing like 2015 or something. So that's a good, 4 years? People have been asking for this? How long have you been looking at it, Gaijin? The sixth question is another one that kind of annoys me. Someone is asking if there's going to be any more differences between RB and SB, and Gaijin's like, oh, there already are a lot of changes. No, if you've ever played sim tanks, it's a lot like RB. More of the camera's just zoomed in. There's some minor details as well that change it up. And of course, people can spawn in planes at the beginning and they have to use a joystick. That's probably one of the larger changes. But generally, it's just tank RB with no markers, and you don't have like a bird's eye view of your tank. I really like them to make sim more simmy. Like, I don't know, have like a fuel be an issue and engine overheating if it gets damaged and stuff like that. After that was the question about APCR and APDS and if it's going to receive the changes that we saw many moons ago on a dev server where I think it was one of the British 120 cannons could penetrate 400 millimeters. And Gaijin replied, this one I think I have to read verbatim. Yes, the conversion of APCR AVAP penetration based on the formula is planned, but earlier iterations contained a number of inaccuracies. After they are fixed, the calculation values are close to the reference values. These machines will be tested again. APDS shells are also planned to be reworked, but will most likely be revisited after APCR HVAP. Oh wait, hold on here, Gaijin. What's this talk of reference values and inaccuracies? I thought you could just put any old shell variables into a formula and poop out exact penetrations, and that real-life documents were so inaccurate that you couldn't use them as reference for anything. But now you're apparently using them for reference. I'm being facetious, of course. If you don't know, a while ago, Gaijin changed penetration values for AP and APHE shells based off some formula instead of factual documents, and it was found that a lot of those penetration values were horribly inaccurate, and some of them were kind of accurate, to a degree where one of the early French tanks, the Conehead, as people like to call it, its main APHE shell did not have enough penetration to trigger its own fuse. But now all of a sudden they apparently care about inaccuracies, probably because that one British tank could penetrate 400 millimeters of armor, which is obviously very inaccurate. But that's it for tank questions. Now for the plane questions. The first one was one that got me excited until I read the answer. Essentially, people were asking for the glorious giant early 30s bomber, the Kirkland K7. Unfortunately, Gaijin stated that it is not planned because it kind of sucks. But I think this is kind of a issue that Gaijin doesn't realize is if you pander to your audience, they are more likely to give you money. And I guarantee you a lot of people would love to see the K7 in game, regardless of how terrible its performance would be. Make it a premium in the Russian tree, maybe like 1,000 golden eagles. You'll sell maybe not to a lot, but you'll get a lot of more traction. The audience would be pretty hyped up for it. And perhaps buy your other premiums because they just enjoy the silliness and fun nature of the game. Next question was worded weird, but it was essentially saying nobody takes a jet into top tier because radar just shoots them down instantly. And Gaijin essentially was saying that they plan to improve radar warning systems. After that was a question about drop tanks, and that's essentially a nope. The first helicopter question was asking about radio warfare systems, and Gaijin replied saying that they plan to improve radar and may add radio warfare, or even anti-radar missiles. The second heli question was asking if the damage models for helis were to be improved, and Gaijin essentially said no. Then it was asked if they were going to improve helicopter vehicle cards, and they said that they actually do plan on doing that, along with improving the hood in various ways. And then someone asked if the H-34 would be coming to the US or UK tree, and Gaijin replied with, there's a chance. The final question for helicopters was asking if scouting for helicopters would be added, and the answer was no. On to the naval question. The first one was asking mines when, and Gaijin said soon. Apparently they didn't want to work on them while they were doing the Japanese Navy because of reasons. Whatever. As long as they come in game, next patch I'll be happy. Ideally before that, and a little bit after would be also alright. Next question, very highly anticipated. Someone asked subs, and then Gaijin replied, not yet. Although that's quite the open-ended answer there. Is that a confirmation that we will get subs? Because yeah implies it will happen eventually, just not now. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Next question is something I'd really like to see as well, is people are asking if the various aircraft that you find on light cruisers, maybe they could be added to the aircraft trees because they're full on planes. And Gaijin said maybe, however, the models would have to be built better than the ones that are currently on the ships. I gotta say, not having the ability to fly your scout aircraft off of your light cruiser is one of the biggest misses that Gaijin is having. War Thunder excels in aircraft combat and a casual sense, and ships not so much. However, if you could combine those two, it would be a massive win. And here's a question that I'm titling the video after, who was asked, are there going to be any other fleets? Originally said this year, but that was edited out for reasons, and Gaijin's reply was, yes, there are some plans, and even more, we are already working on this. Now, it doesn't necessarily directly say Italian fleet. Could be the French, could be the Swedish. It's not the French or the Swedish, because there are already multiple vessels of the Italian Navy modeled, even a light cruiser. As I said, originally the question entitled this year, but that was edited out because I'm guessing it's not going to be this year. Most likely it looks like to be in Sweden, or maybe something else, you never know. But before we get into what vessels we could see the Italian Navy, let's finish this Q&A because there's only 2 more questions. The second to last was asking for full destructibility, and Gaijin said that they don't want to improve it too much because it could lead to the maps being unbalanced. I wonder if this means that the engine could actually handle full-on destructibility of the entire map, but they don't want to. However, I feel this is a cover for the actual reason is our engine isn't strong enough. And the final question was asking if they were satisfied with World War mode, and they apparently are. So on to what we know is going to be in the Italian fleet. This information was gathered by Herzar and Kundoterdo on the forums. Of the boats that are coming, and that we can basically confirm because they have models and stuff in game, is the MS-47 Series 2A torpedo boat, which got devlog and appeared in many alpha tests. The MAS-500, which had its stat card image found. The CRAD-60T, which was spotted in the open beta trailer. And the P494 SETA, which was also found in the open beta trailer, which happens to be one of the variants of the MC493 Freccia class, so we could assume the other models of that would be added. And finally, the Sparvero class, which technically doesn't have a model. However, the PGO2 is a copy of that ship. However, this one has a automatic turret, essentially. As for destroyers, not nearly as them have appeared, at least not that I've found, but the Soldati class did appear in many of the closed beta tests. However, also in the devlog of the Soldati, when it first came around, there was actually 2 variants of the ship that were shown. However, only one was announced. And I think the only real difference is that one of them has 5 guns, and the other has 4 guns and 2 turrets of 2, and a star shell cannon in place of the 5th gun, which can't fire regular shells. Beyond that, there is one model of a light cruiser, the Bartolomeo Colleoni, which from I remember playing is a very fun light cruiser with 8 152mm cannons and 6 100mm cannons. Generally overall, Italy had a really solid navy, both during and after the war, with lots of boats, sub-chasers, destroyers, light cruisers, heavy cruisers, and even battleships to choose from, and plenty of post-war OP vessels to murder all the small boats. Should overall be a great addition to the game. Although I wonder how long it's going to be till they're added. This year was removed from the question after being posted, so it's definitely not going to be this year. If I were to take a wild guess, I would have to say it's the first patch of 2020, as Gaijin already has a good amount of the fleet done. In other news, there are some data mines going on this week. However, a good amount of them were more or less just minor changes here and there, nothing too crazy, except for these 3 Roman helmets, which seem to be 3D decals. Now, the data miner on Reddit could not get any images of it. However, my mod CT Center actually did dig up some images of these helmets. In fact, he got them on the 4th. I just forgot to talk about them. But regardless, it looks that these helmets are most likely to be for a tournament. Maybe an event, but unlikely, as there's a whole gladiator theme that Gaijin likes to put on with certain tournaments. And in the changelog, there were things that changed, but it's the typical here and there random things were fixed. Also, the new battle ratings were put into place. I guess what would be the last bit of news here is the YouTube Cup is going on as of this recording, and apparently it's a bit of a mess. Well, at least it started as a bit of a mess, as some players got banned. I couldn't really tell you exactly what's going on because I'm actually not part of the tournament because I procrastinated sent up to one of the teams till the 9th, which was the day it was closing, and of course didn't get accepted. If you want to know all the details, the YouTuber Sgt.Vittie made a video on it and says he's going to make a further video explaining the details even more. So I'll be sure to link his channel in the corner. And that's just about all the news this week. If I've missed anything or if you have any comments or concerns, you can comment down below or on my Discord. If you want to see more of these videos, I make them every Sunday. I make random videos of the week. I stream on Saturdays. I've been trying to stream on Twitch, so make sure to follow me there and hit the bell icon to be notified anytime I upload anything. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. For bonus news, the B29 is going to cost, oh god, where did I put it? Here it is. 51,000 Silver Lions repair stock. God knows what his spaded repair cost is going to be. There's a whole bunch of other repair cost changes. I decided I was going to do that in a separate video in a bit because I'm tired and this video is already very late and probably will be even later because I'm going to Portland tomorrow and I need to upgrade my computer because my parts are here.